Right, hello again. So I went through all the documentation, deployed the latest versions, and what's changed here now is, as we can see here, like it's basically reducing API surface. So we removed immer because it's like it's making an opinion that someone might not make. Like you're just fine with React and doing spreading to update arrays and stuff. It's not a problem. But here it became a problem. Like this is what happens when you add too much opinions and abstractions in tools like this, is that you start breaking other things. So what we broke was signals with promises, because you can't update a promise using a immer produce. It doesn't make any sense. And here we have this yeah, or maybe you can. um, yeah, but it's like inconsistent. Yeah, it's inconsistent. So the point is, like, if you have a promise that has an array versus a normal array, with a normal array you could like naturally use immer to use push, for example, on that array, and that would work. But if it's a promise, you have to return a new promise and get its value. Like, you have the existing promise, you wait for it to resolve to get the actual value, and then you can produce a new array and return that. But you can't use immer with that. Like, you can't use push on that array, right? So it just becomes inconsistent. And making that opinion, that's something you should do just on top of it. And yeah, so less dependencies, less documentation around like this special thing. Also, with the observation, we are doing the explicit resource management. And the reason is less API surface, less choices. Like you can use the old observer, higher order function kind of thing, or you can use the explicit resource management. This is better. It just is. Why is this? Oh, probably because I've zoomed in so much. This is better. First of all, it doesn't mess around with how you define your component. You can choose to use like a normal function definition, or you can assign it as a variable. Totally up to you. Another thing is that it doesn't require an import. So in this scenario, we kind of define the store and everything together. But when you define your components, you just import the stores and you're using them. So there is no other import from impact to do observing, which is really great. And this should work soon, as soon as this CDN has detected the new version. The thing we have to warn about, though, is that like it's still a stage 3 proposal. It does work out of the box with latest TypeScript, SWC, and ESBuild. Well, implementations in browsers is on its way. And if you use Bubble, so for example, if you use Vite with React plugin, you have to add the Bubble plugin. But if you used Vite React SWC, then you don't have to use that. It just works out of the box. But that's like a super minor thing. And then with the learning, I've just updated the examples. And it's like, it's insane how clean it is. I explain why we use explicit resource management now, and how you can think about the stores as think of the store as an observable resource. Oh, look at this. I forgot to remove that. Let's fix that. GitHub docs, learn, store. edit. Let's just remove that. Let's see. Commit. Bloop. And blop. And ploop. There we go. So the point is, you can think about the store as like a resource. It's an observable resource. So that's what it is. And then with scoping, we are just showing the scoping, and there's nothing new here. This will probably change a little bit. I want to be a bit more clear about, like, there are different reasons for. One thing is like creating a global store. Yeah, it's like when should you create a new store, and when should you just extend an existing store? There's something to be said about that. Maybe some rules of thumb, but I think you can just follow your intuition on this. What just makes sense? Is the domain big? Create a big store. It doesn't matter. If you want to restrict some, or you want to put some logic in its own store and mount it related to some piece of UI, like it strictly doesn't need to be its own store. It could be part of a bigger store because it doesn't have any dependencies to state. It doesn't have any props. If you want to do that, that's absolutely perfectly fine. So yeah. And then we have, and now I'm saying Immer is a popular tool to update complex objects in React. You can use it the same way with Signal, which is nice. Like, you can use Immer. You would typically use that with set state, right? But here you can use it when just calling the signal, because calling the signal is kind of the same as calling set state. And the nice thing, I wasn't aware of this, but the typing is also working. So even though, like, when you call produce and draft in and of itself, it's unknown, but it's able to infer the draft type by the type the list provides, the update function of the signal. So that's really nice. So you get all the typing and everything. And if you wanted to, you could like create use Immer signal or Immer signal, for example, where you kind of put this behind the scenes. And then effects, it's the same. And then async is, I guess, basically the same. Yeah. And then stores, I haven't really changed anything here, just updated the syntax. And it's, did I mess? Oh, sorry, no, App Store, sorry. So that's the only thing about the using thing, is that inside stores, you don't use using, but you do it in components. But I want to state that the using keyword just represents observation. Like, you're not observing stores inside stores. So yeah, it's still a very, and now we have like one less API reference, like we don't have the observer anymore. So it's very clean. Okay, let's get back to our refactor. By the way, is this? Yeah, I'm gonna do this. Yeah, because I'm always have since of late I've always had like one viewer, but it's myself watching through a YouTube Studio. Let's see. Okay, let's go in and find our family scrum. So first thing we need to do is update. Oh, I have a lot of. Why do I have so many? Okay, so yeah, install impact React latest. Oh, come on. Why couldn't it just have an alias for that? Nice. So I guess some things has changed here. So where should we start? Let's just go through the stores that has an error. So for example, we have this assistant store. This assistant store does not necessarily have to be its own store. It could be part of the app store, or the family scrum store. Maybe we should call it, let's call it app. It could be part of the app store, because as we see here, it doesn't have any dependencies, but this assistant is only, well, at least currently, it's something that's only part of a specific piece of UI, and it has a lot of logic to it. So I made that its own store. I could just as well put like assistant in here and do like create assistant and then expose assistant as part of the not global store. We could create an app store. What's it called? We could create an app store folder and put assistant in there, and then we would like create the assistant here and expose it here with the rest. But then this store would grow, and yeah, so I guess this is the last thing I'm kind of reflecting on is like the most important thing is that it's flexible, right? So you can just follow your intuition on wanting to create stores and provide them. I don't think it makes sense to have like any strong like guidelines on how to do that. So we're not going to change the stores themselves, but we're going to fix the errors here. So what we need to do here is change this back to current. Let's see. Like so, and the same here. So this would be like so. Current and get complete messages. And then in edit inner store, we have some few name same things. Yeah, so let's, and now it's also like, should call it current, should call it draft. Now we're gonna call, well, actually here I'm gonna use immer import produce from immer. I think immer is quite nice. So here we should be able to just shove that around it, and then we're fine. Oh, it gives any. Wait a minute. It shouldn't work that way. It shouldn't be any. Is it because of my TypeScript version? Let's see if that's been fixed. Yarn add TypeScript latest. That is interesting. Because I tested this in the TypeScript. I tested this and it should work. Which TypeScript version are we using? 554. What? That is weird. Current dinner DTO. Why doesn't that work? Okay, we need to look into this because this should work. Did I create this thing on? I'll probably created it on the code sandbox. Yeah, strange diffy. Let's see. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah, because I've tried to create APIs like that before and I haven't gotten that typing to work. But I tried it here and it worked. And I wonder why. Maybe it has to do with the way the signal is typed. Oh, I hope not. Oh, it could be. It could be because it's like set state has a single signature. No, it doesn't. It has two. What's happening here? I need music. Oh my god. Oh, my arms are so incredibly sore after my gym failure. I guess that's how you best explain it or describe it. Oh, come on. Hopefully, you know what? We can just create a new one. I don't want to wait for this. Let's create one on my account. React. I don't care about that. Let's install Immer. So you should be able to say set count produce draft. You see this? It finds it as a number. Why does that work? Curried. I wonder if it's because of how are we gonna test this? Because this needs to work. Like the thing is that this has like 7 overloads, and one of them is probably conflicting. I guess we still have. Let's see. We can try. We have to figure this out, if only of curiosity. Const test equals signal 0. Produce. Oh, there. Let's just add Immer. How do I force that? Produce. Oh, come on. Produce draft. Why does this say any? Okay, so we're gonna, just for fun, we're gonna simplify the signal. Let's just remove, first we're gonna try removing this promise stuff, because that can be a likely reason for it to fail. and it's not. What am I doing different? Let's drop the getter, because this is literally the signature of set state. Why is it any? What's so special about this one? Dispatch. Is it because it's void? Or is it because it's defined as... wait a minute. What was it defined as? Dispatch. Interesting. Let's try to only do this. There it works. Okay. So what if we change interesting. Okay, we're gonna try something. What if we define the signal as let's just keep that one. And then we'll rather define the signal as value t or current t t t. Okay, then it still works. This is interesting. So so this gives a number 50, this gives a number, this gives something wrong, and this is current plus 1, and then produce also gives that. Okay, interesting. We're gonna fix this. So we're gonna remove, but we need to bring in this whole extends thing. So we're just gonna remove everything. Type signal. So we're rather gonna say value value would be let's see, t or this. This. This is interesting. Yeah, I think that's it. And then let's remove that one and that one. No, what did I? Oh, yeah. Like so. Let's see what happens. So it still knows that it's a number. That's fine. Let's take a look at the other thing. So what if I tell it it's a promise of void or undefined? That's one of the things. I can do this. It's either observable promise or undefined promise.resolve. It's the same thing. Yeah, I guess it should just work. And still here, current. Then, yeah. Cool. Yeah, let's fix it. Let's see. Git status. Git checkout. Signal type fix. Let's change the version. So this is a minor tweak. Just to support currying. Upstream origin signal type fix. Boop-de boop. Let's go here. And let's pull in that change. Cool. And then let's go to main, git pull, impact react, yarn build, and npm publish. Oh my god. Nice. And then we can jump back into the app. Let's install yarn add impact react latest. Okay, nice. And now I guess we need to restart this. Look at that, writable draft. Yeah, so you can just put produce in front of this. And produce. It's interesting. We could we could have a primitive called mutable signal that actually used immer. Anyways. But this is not the end game. You can always add stuff later if strong patterns emerge. Num produce. What did I do? Oh, did I do one too many? Cool. And then edit to do store. Produce. I don't think I really need immer on these things, but let's just keep it for now. Like deleting stuff is like a pain. So yeah, let's just do it. Imagine having something internal in JavaScript or native in JavaScript that could do something like this. That would be awesome. Produce. Dude. Okay, nice. So we're back to where we were. And I wonder if, did we actually, oh. Yeah, that's the actual app. I wonder if no, we weren't done because we had some other. Oh, then we create. No, okay, so let's just continue. So we have groceries. We need to rename that to groceries store. So let's see. This needs to be impact React. We need EU store and create store provider. And these imports should be relative. Let's see. Oh my god. This might be a little bit boring. App Store. Use App Store. Hopefully we can get into something that's like discussable. So this would be use grocery store. Use store. And this should be grocery store. And we should have export const grocery store provider equals create store provider grocery store. Cool. Oh yeah, this is interesting because this grocery store is actually like a transient store. Because it gets the current groceries when you open it. So it's kind of like if someone else is adding groceries, it doesn't affect your current groceries list. You could say that's a bad thing, but it's a choice, right? So in this case, I wanted it to work like that because it's confusing if it just updates. But then again, you can argue then you probably won't be able. I actually think this has happened once. I was shopping and then my partner said, "Oh, I added it to the list while you were in the shop." Yeah, that's interesting. So this is probably not the best way to do it as a user experience, but for now, let's just leave it be. Input groceries. Let's filter them. This is something we should definitely move. So we should say derive sorted and filtered groceries. Let's see. Derive sorted and filtered groceries. I really love this thing. We can just go to the end, derive sorted and filtered groceries, and then I can just shove that in there and then it works. Oops. Exactly the same, but I now moved it away from the definition of the actual thing. So now you see very clearly that we have a derived of groceries that are sorted and filtered. That's the important information, right? But if there's something wrong with that, you might command click this and then you go in and check the logic for it. And then we have an effect. Oh yeah. We're firing some confetti. This is also yeah. So when we're done shopping, we're firing confetti. Let's see. So this should just be this. Name. Why do I do this? Like dot value. This is interesting. Name. Current input. Why do I have different? Oh, this is to revert it. But why do I have name there? It's kind of weird. Yeah, current input name is current input. Weird thing. Oh, is it to get I think I wanted the old one. Oh, I think I really I'm not sure what I was doing here. I think I just wanted what are we doing here? Add grocery. Current input. Why do I want to revert it? Oh, because I empty it, of course. Sorry. So it should be current input. Look at this. I'm even using produce here already. And now, since we don't have, so this is the thing with the function signature, is that now we don't need to do this anymore. Now we can just do that with the currying, which is really nice. And it's all functional, baby. Cool. Yeah, here we just wanna, so this would be current. Just want to update that one. Let's see, is this readable? Like we're, yeah, and why don't I call it like initial groceries? Well, this is not initial groceries. This is groceries. Is there a reason why I don't just call them groceries? Can I just do this? Remove this? Oh, we actually have the groceries, yeah. So this is the thing that's a little bit annoying, but I'm just gonna call it groceries data for now. Well, of course, what I can do is, which is probably better, we call it groceries, but then we say props.groceries.length. That is probably much better, because then we emphasize, we're basing this length on what's coming from the outside. Yeah. Oh, and then what we want to do is, so that's grocery store. And we can rename this to groceries again. There's nothing special about it. And then we have plan next week. So here we have a couple of interesting ones. So let's do the use week dinners context first. So that would be week dinners store. Like, I don't think context is a bad name, but it's like conflicting with React context, and also these can be global, which means it conflicts even more with React context. So yeah. App Store. I really think we have something here with impact. I truly do, because let's see, use store, create store provider, and wheat dinner store. Because it definitely solves the pain points I've had with Overmind or general global state management. It just solves it. Yeah, let's export const week dinners store provider. Week dinner store. Okay, so let's look at this thing. Oh my god. This is fine. I think this is a pretty nice one. Yeah, and then we're gonna do the same here. Week dinners. This is a nice pattern. Like, just use the props. It emphasizes where it comes from. Yeah. Yeah, and we do the same here. It's like we're locking the UI to the current week dinners as we open them. Well, that's not really. Yeah, it's interesting because the app is live, like we're using, or it's real time, which is really tricky. It's a very, like, the app looks simple, but it's actually incredibly complex. And even doing this thing, we shouldn't really just set the document. Oh, sorry, it's set next week dinners. Okay, so this is fine. I thought it was like updating the dinners. It isn't. It's like setting the dinners for the next week. That's fine. Oh, I don't want to mess with this one. Let's just do. Let's just do this. I guess we need to do this. Do I need to do this? Does it understand? Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Then we set it, and then we have week. Oh yeah, this is nice. So now we can do updated week dinners. We get those back, right? Bloop. Nice. Now we have week dinner store, and then we can change the name of that. So it's going to be interesting to wire all this together again, and then see where we're at. Oh, we even have planned to do item. Let's use week to do context. So that would be week to do store. App store. I think I have like an at thing where I can do like at utils or something. Oh, I thought I could do that. At. Okay. Oh. Okay. That's fine. Use app store. Oh, yeah, I think I just call it to-dos here. Is there any reason why I call it a to-dos promise? Yeah, because I have to-dos down here. That's fine. But we could name it up here. But let's not go into that. Oh, we should do that. To-dos promise. Oh, we need to. Use. Sorry. Use store. Export const week to-dos store provider, right? Store provider week to-do store. Yeah, so we don't need to do this. Oh, interesting. Oh, why is that? Did I forget? To-dos? What are to-dos? A signal of promise to do DTO, and then oh fuck, do we have a problem? Oh, sorry. No, wait a minute. Why do we have... Why is this a function? Didn't I do a getter? Oh, sorry. This should be get. My bad. My bad. Yes, so categorized. Yeah, and then we do the same thing. We can just take this thing, don't have to assign any properties to this to be able to access this in a different function. We can just say derive categorized to-dos, and then we just create that function, derive categorized to-dos, and we can just boop, paste it, and it has access to everything it had inside that function. I love that the constructor is wrapping. It's almost like if you think of a class, that the constructor was a wrapper around the whole class, and you could just directly reference anything you define in the constructor. That's what a function is, and it's so much better in my opinion. Cool. That's weak to do store, and we rename this to weak to do's. Then we have the last store, I think. Plan to do item store. Plan to do item store. Use app store. Use global store. Use store. And create store provider. Plan to do item store provider. Create store provider. Plan. Yeah, let's not do this. Yeah, this is a really nice pattern. Just point to props so that you know when you read this what's coming from the outside. Makes a lot of sense. So this is pretty, yeah, so this one, we can just move it below without any more effort. And then we have update week to do activity, and we can define it as an actual, I think I'm gonna put that before this one, and we'll call it function instead. I wish we didn't have arrow functions. There's so much stuff added to the language. It's kind of like the thing, like if arrow functions actually solve the problem, then they would be great. But they're just adding, like, brain. You consume more brain power because you have to choose which one you're going to use, and then it ends up with discussions. And there are definitely, like, especially with classes, having to yeah, I don't know if even that makes sense. It's just sugar, syntactic sugar. Like, and you can argue if you have functions nested and you want it to bind its context to like the outer scope kind of thing. If you return an object and on that object you define a property with an arrow function and you point to like this, that this will be like the outer scope this. But like, why? When do you ever do that? Maybe there are other arguments for doing it, but let's see. And then we have, yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to say current activity by user ID. Like that. And then we're going to update it by doing this. Props to do ID. Really nice. Like, looking at this code now, you see that, oh, we're getting the to-do ID from the outside. That makes me understand that this storage actually depends on some external state, which is nice. And I can just access it. There's no this or nothing. Just point to it. Activity by user ID. Let's do the same here. Const current activity by user ID. Oh, this is an update, sorry. Current. Nice. So now we have, I think we have all the stores in place. Nice. So I'm not sure why this like shows it as like some kind of error, but now we can go and just look at the actual UI. Oh, we actually do provide it. We don't actually have to do that now. Let's just drop that. And we're gonna call this app. Oh, we don't even need, why do we even have main here? Maybe we could look at app and then, so this is what we used to have. I think we can just move all of this into main. Delete this. And there's an export default on this. So I think we should export default main. Oh, function. Let's see. And then we have app. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about having specific, like doing this. Personally, I kind of prefer doing this, but I see the point of like, if you want to jump to a file and you say app, you won't actually get to the file. So there's like more it's kind of not as direct, but yeah, maybe we should just do what I want to do. So let's rename this to index. And it's going to be interesting because we're going to have to provide some of these. That's the problem with context provider is you unnaturally split up your components because you need one component to provide the store, and then you have the component consuming the store or context. While the only thing that first component does is to expose the store. So I did create this API where you could do like so for example, you have the global store provider, and then you could do like provide, and then you would like function app or nested whatever, and then it would mix the props required by global store with any props you define here. I think it makes a lot of sense. We'll see. We might reintroduce that. But currently it's just fine. Use global store. Import app from app. Oh, interesting. I guess these should be. Yeah, let's just do this. Use App Store. Yeah, and then I think this is more App Store provider. So what we're doing here now is that we are first using the global store and looking at the authentication status. And if we're authenticating, we return the skeleton. If we're unauthenticated, we show the skeleton with the sign-in model. And if we are authenticated, we mount the App Store provider, but we key it on the user ID. So if for some reason another user would sign in, like this couldn't happen in reality, but like signing in from one user to another, but like if it did, it would actually unmount the App Store provider and mount a new one with the full app. And then we give it the user and the family. And then we have a suspense boundary around this app. So if we're grabbing some data in a component where we use the use hook, then it will fall back to this skeleton. And we give it the update model in here as well. I guess that's fine. Cool. So use global store. And then I decided to just have some views. So I don't use a router here because it's not really a routing type of application. You always want to start from the front screen. So it just has some views that you can pop and push and check the current view. So that's what we're doing here. So this gives us the view, and then we switch on the view name where we set the so these should be okay. Let's start looking at this now, because now we have edit dinner. So as you can see here, the only thing that edit dinner does is to provide a context. So I do think it makes a lot of sense to be able to edit dinner. Oh, then I add the, it's funny. Sometimes I put Norwegian words when I'm thinking. What's it, dinner? Yeah, I think it's because I did not follow the pattern here. So we should do props dinner. Cool. Where were we? Edit inner. So my point is that the only thing this does is actually provide the store. So what we could do instead here is that we could move the contents of that file in here, and then we could rather export const edit dinner with editor store provider provide, and then we would want to like define this. I can do edit dinner, and then we have everything in there. I wonder if we actually have this. Do we? Or did I remove it? Provide? No, we do have it. Interesting. Yeah, so we just need to document it. So let's try this now. Let's go into edit dinner and basically just move. Let's see. Actually, let's delete this one. And then we're gonna rename this one to index. Well, actually, we can move this outside now. It doesn't need to be its own folder. Yeah. Let's move it out here. Delete. Then we have edit dinner, where we do, we will need to do export const edit dinner equals edit dinner provide store provider provide this thing. Yeah, the thing is that you do get the props in here as well, which is kind of, I don't know what to say about that. It's not bad, but it's maybe like, maybe this component shouldn't have access to that property. Hard to say. Is edit dinner store. Let's rename this a dinner store. Oh, what we also have to do here is use the using. Oh, we need to refactor more here. Let's restart. So we have the app, but we of course have to do using global store. So this is a change. So we need to do that. And then this should be just edit dinner. Cool. Not sure why it's, did I move it? Why is it, why does it? It's just that language server, it doesn't pick up on file system changes. It's really annoying. Okay, so again, we need to do, let's using global store, use global store. And then we have, oh, let's just do, just setting up the whole thing here. App Store. This is also using. And we're gonna grab App Store. Oh yeah, and then we have using dinner store, edit dinner store. Let's rename that. Cool. So here we set up all our stores that we're observing. And then we go into structure a little bit. And then we have the rest of the craziness. It's kind of interesting. You can do the same pattern here that we do with stores. So if you have like render image here, let's try it. Like how we render an image isn't that interesting. Oh, It's only interesting like after the fact. Not after the fact, but it's not like the main concern, like looking at this. But it's like you read top down, right? So yeah, function render image. So if we rather do this, I really like this. Oh, doesn't it work? Expected one argument. What did I do now? I did something weird. What did I do? If camera. That works. And then we should be able to just shove this after the return statement. Why is it doing this? Expected one argument. It seems like a syntax error. Oh, I know why. Of course. This is where the return statement is now. It's because of the wrapper. Yeah, that's interesting. It isn't ideal to like have your, I don't like these higher order components. So maybe at the end of the day, you kind of want to, that's the thing, like you want to just define them. So you just say edit inner content, and then you just define it in the same file. It's just one of them provides that store. That's what I'm wondering. It's like, why add this additional API? Because what we can do here is simply like, and I wouldn't get into that confusion, for example. Oh my God, this is a big one. Is it all this? No. This. Edit dinner. Well, I guess. But yeah, what about this? Export cons, edit dinner. Edit dinner, store provider. Provide edit dinner content. I'm not sure if content is the right word, but then at least, because what I would have to do is like, or maybe just even component. Or I would have to like, it would be, I would, for example, have to like type the edit dinner component manually. It's just to avoid some wiring. Yeah, I think it, let's just keep it as is. Wow, this is a huge ass component. And then we can evaluate what we want to do with it. But let's look at these other ones. Actually, I wonder if I should stop the stream. This is kind of the gist of it. I'm just gonna go through this, and I wanna. It's my day off, so I want a bit of time before I pick up the kiddos. But yeah, this is nice. We're I think we're definitely in the right place. Good. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.